Over the years, Samsung has released numerous flagship phones, from the Note lineup with its convenient in-phone stylus to the S Edge lineup with its curved display. However, this all came to a screeching halt when their 2016 Note 7 flagship went up in flames. Literally. Now, in 2017, Samsung has introduced the Samsung S8 and S8 Plus. Can these new flagship phones revive Samsung's reputation, or will it be another hot topic like the Note 7? Hi guys, I'm Steven from Obsessive Gear, and here's my take on the Samsung S8 and S8 Plus. So, I've had my hands on these phones for the past week now, and I have to say, Samsung has definitely stepped it up in creating what are probably the best phones for 2017. Personally, I consider the S8 and S8 Plus to being close to perfect with its infinity display, flash-shaped specs, and profound camera capability. The main ingredient to this masterful crafted devices is the Super AMOLED Quad HD display. Both screens melt along the side of the phones, producing an irresistible curved display. With thinner bezels and an all-black Gorilla Glass 5 in the front, content creation seems more immersive. At times, you tend to forget that you're even holding the phone. Having the display cover majority of the phone has many pros and cons. The increased screen real estate is perfect when browsing the web and reading articles. It allows you to view more content on the screen while minimizing the amount of time to scroll up and down the page. However, there are a few drawbacks. Not all apps and video content support the 18.5:9 screen ratio. Therefore, having black pillars added to the side of the screen when apps are in use. YouTube allows you to punch in when watching videos, but some of the image is cut off. This is not a deal breaker to me, but you will have to decide. I know you may be thinking bigger screens equal bigger phones, right? But this is not the case. Samsung has narrowed the chassis and increased the height of the phones to support the S8 5.8 inch and the S8 Plus 6.2 inch displays. With a narrower chassis, the phone feels smaller in the hand. In terms of specs, the S8 and S8 Plus are flagship phones on the Android market. Therefore, it's what you expect a flagship to have. Both phones support a Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 chip, Adreno 540 GPU, 4GB of RAM, 64GB of storage with the option of expandable storage up to 256GB, Wi-Fi 802.11 and Bluetooth 5.0. Aside from the screen size, the other difference between both phones is the battery. The S8 has a 3000 mAh battery and the S8 Plus has a 3500 mAh battery. As I drool over these endless displays, I forget about the traditional fingerprint sensor and home button that all Samsung phones have. The home button and fingerprint sensor were not removed from the phones. They were simply replaced and relocated. The home button still exists on the front of the phone. Instead of a tactile button, we now have a screen pressure sensitive home key, which is in the same place where the home button previously sat. Unlike the Google Pixel and the LG G6, the fingerprint sensor has been moved to the back of the phone next to the camera. Honestly, it simply feels out of place as you struggle to unlock the phone. Don't let this deter you from buying these flagships, as Samsung's provided many alternatives to unlock the phone. Carried over from the Note 7, the iris scanner is now available on both the S8 and S8 Plus. My usage of the iris scanner was quite precise, as it may be just as fast as the fingerprint sensor. Samsung has made this simple task fun and playful by adding numerous camera masks on the unlock screen. Since photography is one of my favorite hobbies, I was really excited to try the new camera. Both the S8 and S8 Plus packs a 12 megapixel f1.7 rear-facing camera and a 8 megapixel f1.7 front-facing camera. On paper, it didn't really seem like Samsung made any major changes, but after testing it, I did notice some subtle changes. One of which is the beautiful macro shots. When taking close-up shots, you do notice that blurred out background. For some of you, you might think the photos might be a little overly saturated, but for me, I love it. It actually eliminates the after photo editing process in Lightroom. The camera app had many features that I loved using. My favorite is shooting in pro mode. It honestly makes me feel as if I have a DSLR in my hand. I have the availability to change the ISO, the aperture, and even the exposure. Another cool feature is the virtual shot. This allows you to take a 360 view of the object. In regards to video, you now have the chance to slow down time by recording in slow motion mode. If you enjoy speeding up the sunset or the sunrise, you also have the option in doing this in hyperlapse mode. All these features and high-end specs really doesn't matter if the phone is sluggish and slow. On that note, Samsung has the latest edition of Android Nougat. Unlike the Pixel running on stock Android, Samsung has once again added its TouchWiz skin. As seen on previous Samsung lineup, TouchWiz normally diminishes that smooth stock Android experience. With its clunky bloatware, TouchWiz consistently contains lagging glitches which worsens as the phone ages. But this time it's different. Samsung has refined TouchWiz for the better. It now displays simplistic icon designs and has smooth transitions between screens. Let's just say my hands-on experience with the S8 and S8 Plus has been buttery smooth. The app drawer can now be accessed by swiping up and down on the screen. Like the S Edge, there is a side taskbar which is fully customizable. You can easily add favorites, top apps, sport updates, weather, calendar, and the list goes on and on. The biggest software add-on is Bixby. Bixby is Samsung's newest implemented artificial intelligence system, pretty much just like Google Now. By swiping to the right, you're given numerous cards, from weather to sports, but honestly, it's not as good as Google Now. Bixby just seems half-baked. All we have right now is the visual aspect of Bixby. Unfortunately, voice-activated commands aren't even activated. With voice commands being released later this year, Samsung has high hopes for Bixby. They think so highly of it that they dedicated a physical button right underneath the volume rocker. Overall, Samsung has made a huge recovery from the Note 7 fiasco. I know there are a few gripes with the placement of the fingerprint sensor and the incomplete Bixby software, but after using the phone for a couple days, I pretty much got used to it. Please give me a thumbs up for the review, hit that subscribe button, and please leave a comment on what you'd like to see in the future.